is Channel 5.
His clothes look new, fast and easy.
This is Channel 5, KXAS TV. Coming up, Channel 5 News at 5, the best newscast in Texas. Dennis Hawley, Ann McGarry, meteorologist Harold Taft, and Scott Murray Sports. This is Channel 5 Action News.
Good evening. Spectators applauded this afternoon in Austin when the state Senate gave its approval to a revised tax package.
That bill was then sent to the House for approval. It's a compromise measure designed to end a stalemate over changes the Senate made in the House version of the bill. Political
Classified, get results like you've never seen before. 748-1414. 748-1414. Call the Dallas Times Herald Classified at 748-1414. We are the pages more people are turning to.
This is Channel 5. Coming up, the #1 rated 6 o'clock newscast in Dallas-Fort Worth. Brad Wright, meteorologist Harold Taft, and Scott Murray Sports. This is Channel 5 Action News.
We've got two separate lakes down here. We've got one on top of the tank car, and we've got one back at the plant in a hose, and we're going to try to get that hose plugged up before we let that train engine come in.
This was the drama played out this afternoon southeast of downtown Fort Worth, as seen in these pictures obtained exclusively by Channel 5 News. Firemen trying to seal off a chlorine leak that sent at least 16 people to 5 area hospitals. At this hour, everything appears to be under control, but earlier this afternoon, chlorine fumes threatened Fort Worth residents in a 16-block area. Channel 5's Linda Frederick is standing by with one of our live units at the scene of the chlorine leak to bring us up to date. Linda?
Brad, at this point in time, the scene is rather calm, but a little earlier, these two tank cars caused quite a frantic evacuation. The tank cars contain chlorine. They collided and started leaking chlorine, forcing the evacuation of an 18-square block area south of Lancaster Avenue near downtown Fort Worth. A couple of dozen people were overcome by those fumes. Well, the fumes have dissipated, the leak has been sealed, and at this point in time, the evacuation is over. The people who live and work in this area have gone home. Jack Helsel was one of the first people on the scene, and he tells us how this all started.
One of two 90-ton tank cars of AmeriGas and Dixie Petrol was offloading chlorine gas from a spur of the Union Pacific-Missouri Pacific tracks when, for some unexplained reason, the second tank car came unbraked and rolled into the first, resulting in leaks from both the car and connecting pipe.
Okay, forget that for right now. Y'all come on down and help Gary. We got a hose leaking up here. He's going to put a wood dyke in it. Let me go back truck and see what we got. Maybe we can put around that.
Firemen quickly sealed off the major leaks at the scene. Railroad personnel were puzzled by why the second car wasn't stopped by braking devices or derailed by a derail mechanism. In the meantime, firefighters within a 16-square block area were busy giving oxygen to scores of area residents who got a whiff of the chlorine. As a precaution, the area was temporarily evacuated. With an update on those taken to area hospitals, we go live to Ron Trumblup at John Peter Smith Hospital.
Jack, we've been trying to get together information throughout this afternoon, a little bit difficult under the circumstances. Numbers kept changing on how many people were taken to which hospital. Our latest information indicates that a total of 18 people have been transferred to the hospitals, and the hospitals include Harris, John Peter Smith, All Saints, St. Joseph's, and we understand some to Fort Worth Osteopathic. Now, our understanding is that there have been no serious injuries. All of these people are listed in either stable or good condition. Some have been admitted for further observation, others treated and released. Now, 2 patients were taken here to John Peter Smith, where I talked to Dr. Cynthia Wolf about the nature of chlorine and its symptoms.
It's a gas that's very irritating to the mucosal tract, meaning the nose, the mouth, the eyes, as well as the chest and the lungs. And the symptoms are burning of the eyes, burning of the mouth inside, and difficulty breathing.
What's the range? How serious can it get?
Oh, it can, the most serious that it can get would be such an pneumonia that we would have to intubate the person and breathe for them to get enough oxygen into them.
Fortunately, that didn't happen with any of the people hospitalized today. Brad, I might point out that one of the mitigating factors was the fact that you can see it's a little breezy out here. That helped at the scene. The chlorine that was leaking was diffused somewhat by the wind, and of course the dosages weren't that heavy, and perhaps that's why it wasn't a lot worse.
Okay, so at this point, Ron, none of the victims in bad shape.
That's it.
Okay, well, listen, we want to not only thank our on-air crew, who you folks have already met, but we certainly want to thank Channel 5 photographers Bob Welch, Jimmy Darnell, Kurt Wallace, and Greg Primus. They were on the scene and stayed in the very thick of it to help bring you that story. On to other matters in the news tonight. Officials at Parkland Hospital in Dallas say they're in a blood emergency tonight. All elective surgery has been canceled for tomorrow because the hospital is dangerously low on blood. Parkland officials are asking for help with donations. People with O-positive blood are in particular demand, but officials say they need other types as well. The Parkland Blood Center will be open until 8 tonight. It's located across from Parkland on Harry Hines. Hospital officials say summer is the trauma season and they simply have a greater need for blood. But that need has not been replenished by donations, and hospital officials tonight are asking for our help. Testimony continued today in the election lawsuit filed by Elsie Faye Higgins. Ms. Higgins claims she lost the District 3 County Commissioner runoff on June 2nd because of voter fraud and voter irregularities. 2 poll watchers testified that they witnessed violations of the election law during balloting. One witness told the court that a woman was given the opportunity to vote twice and that electioneering went on throughout the day. He did not, however, file a report with the precinct judge. The questions raised by the Higgins camp have so far not involved the activities of John Wiley Price, who is named in the suit. Mr. Price won that election. When we come back, the Jackson entourage is in town tonight preparing their 3 concerts later this week, and we'll talk live with the man who's in charge for all Jackson ticket sales. Ticket sales being a bit of a sore subject for many. Stay tuned.
This is a highly sophisticated business computer, and to use it, all you have to do is learn this. This is Macintosh from Apple, also a highly sophisticated business computer, and to use it, all you have to do is learn this. Now, you decide which one is more sophisticated. Macintosh, the computer for the rest of us.
To appreciate the art of Chinese cooking, one must first learn to appreciate its origins, the classic delicacies of the Cantonese, the rich artistry of the Mandarins, the fiery appetites of Szechuan, the exotic flavors captured in Van de Kamp's Chinese classic entrees, 6 authentic Cantonese, Mandarin, and Szechuan dishes, each true to its origin and tradition. Van de Kamp's Chinese classics. Come, a whole new world of experience awaits.
When you need a laxative, who do you trust?
In this job, X-Lax. It works when I want it to.
And who do you trust for gentle relief? Who?
X-Lax.
X-Lax pills help get your body's natural rhythm going again. Your own system takes over to provide gentle relief overnight.
For my family, it's always X-Lax. I'm not about to try anything else. It's our family friend.
X-Lax helps your body help itself.
That's right. Helps your body help itself.
Michael Jackson is in Dallas for 3 concerts this weekend at Texas Stadium. And at a news conference this afternoon, show promoters said they have no regrets about the original ticket system, which required concertgoers to buy 4 $30 tickets at a time. That program slowed down ticket sales in the Metroplex, but promoters say that had nothing to do with their decision to scrap the plan. Well, joining us tonight live in the studio is the man who's in charge of all ticket sales for the Jackson's concerts, Mr. Bill Sullivan from the Stadium Management Corporation. And Bill, promoters in Kansas City announced that the concerts were a sellout. They subsequently, though, sold some tickets at the door. And I'm just wondering, since they've announced that the Texas Stadium concerts are also a sellout, what are the chances that somebody could come up to the door on concert night and get a ticket?
Well, Brad, the actual ticket sales, the activity that happened in the ticket office out in front of the stadium was to give people an opportunity who didn't get the proper tickets to get it straightened out. There were no ticket sales, and there will be no ticket sales at the stadium over the weekend. And anyone who thinks to possibly get tickets, it's not true.
So if they haven't got tickets by now, they're just out of luck.
That's true.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the TV ban. There was a television coverage ban in Kansas City. It was subsequently lifted. What is the situation at Texas Stadium?
There will be no television coverage of the event, and that's been the decision that's been reached at this point.
Okay. In fact, we have right here some videotape from the Kansas City concert. Did you folks learn some valuable lessons, that being the inaugural effort?
Very much so. They found the demographics were far greater than we originally anticipated. There were a lot older people, a lot of young children. There was a real variety and mix of people. It was not a rock concert crowd at all. It was a real family-orientated thing, and everyone had a great time. It's a real exciting show.
One thing I wanted to touch on, which we didn't touch on when we were talking about the television coverage, that's a big disappointment for us. You can obviously understand that. Yes. What are the chances for perhaps a pool camera? A pool camera being one camera that's shared by all of the local affiliates.
Well, at this time, Brad, there's no possibility of that occurring, and that's been our position on the thing as of now.
You guys could change your mind, though, could you not, prior to concert time?
There's no plans to do so as of now, Brad.
Okay. Bill Sullivan from Stadium Management Corporation, thanks for joining us tonight. Well, if city officials in Dallas had their way on another subject, leaded gasoline would be a thing of the past. There are serious concerns because it's a major source of lead pollution in our air. And according to Victor Solis tonight, reaction from mechanics and consumers indicates maybe it's not such a bad idea to do away with good old regular gasoline.
In the first place, very few cars still use regular. A survey shows that less than 20% of the vehicles on the road do not require unleaded gasoline. They are usually late model cars, and the fears that these cars have to be converted to take in unleaded gas are unfounded.
Unleaded gasoline will burn in a regular leaded car. It should not hurt anything.
Priori adds that engine performance should be just as good. The big difference between regular and unleaded gas is the price. At this pump, regular sells for $1 a gallon, while unleaded is almost 9 cents higher.
We sell very little regular here.
Joe Golden reflects a majority of gas station owners in the Dallas area. They just don't sell much leaded fuel anymore.
We have a lot of people that have older cars now that wants to buy super unleaded.
Why is that?
Well, they say the car runs better on super unleaded than it does on regular.
Don't expect leaded gas to disappear overnight, if at all. The federal bureaucracy must still tackle the issue, and it could be years before any action is taken. Victor Solis, Channel 5 News, Dallas.
Sports news is coming up when we come back, and the Olympians have made it 5 in a row over the NBA All-Stars, while some All-Star hams will be in attendance during tonight's Major League Baseball All-Star game. Stay tuned.
Where can a dog find the best answer to fleas? It's not at the pet store or supermarket. It's at your veterinarian's. He has expert advice plus Haver Flea Control, a professional program that provides complete protection against fleas. It's everything you need to control fleas wherever they are. Keep fleas in check with the Haver Flea Control program, available only from your veterinarian.
Attention, people of Earth and Vernon. Important announcement from Brahms. The biggest scoop of ice cream ever placed on a cone comes from Brahms. It is the most delicious treat known to humanoids. Proceed at warp speed to Brahms. Know what I mean? Yum. Yum. Yum.
Hey, Vern, who was that weirdo? Snappy dresser, though, huh?
If you bought your TV 2 years ago, it's probably out of warranty.
No!
Just in time for the Olympics, unless you bought a Curtis Mathis with their exclusive 4-year limited warranty. So the Curtis Mathis TV, VCR, or stereo you buy today will be in warranty until the '88 Olympics.
Curtis Mathis, a little more expensive, but worth it.
Turning to sports news, everybody's ready for the All-Star game tonight out in San Francisco. Buddy Bell on the team, not as a starter, but certainly on the team, and not to be proud.
One of the few bright spots as far as Dallas-Fort Worth fans are concerned, but of course for the American League, they hope to make a bright spot of sorts and make it 2 in a row. Until last year, they had lost 11 straight years, so it was early 70s since the last time they had won an All-Star game.
What are the chances Buddy will see action tonight?
I would imagine he'll see some action.
Good,
oh,
good.
Sure. They try and get everybody in there. Everybody gets a shot. One of the most talked about parts of the All-Star game has been the voting process off the field. With the ballots in the hands of the fans, the voting has become more of a popularity contest. As a result, deserving ball players are often overlooked in favor of well-known veterans. Case in point, the Rangers' Larry Parrish and Pete O'Brien.
It's unfortunate. Most of the first basemen in the leagues are having great years, and you just can't take 7 first basemen.
Years ago when I was playing, I also was involved when the players picked the All-Star team, and it got equally as screwed up. So it really doesn't matter who does it, because there's going to be certain players that are going to get the short end of the deal.
More on the game coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. In the basketball ranks, make it 5 in a row now for the U.S. Olympic team. Once again, they have defeated the NBA All-Stars, the Olympians, winning the game last night by 15, 97-82. Largest indoor crowd to ever witness a basketball game on hand, over 67,000 in Indiana. Arkansas's Alvin Robertson hits the jumper. Olympians led by 15 at the half, or checked at 10 at the half, actually won it by 15. How about this? Michael Jordan to Oklahoma's Wayman Tisdale. He gets the slam, and the Olympians get the win, 97-82. Alita Sill remains the leader in the Dallas Classic Bowling Tournament tonight. She leads the field by 299 pins. The final 24 will bowl again tonight to determine the 5 finalists for tomorrow. Becky Justice of Louisville is the only local bowler still in the field of 24. Back to baseball and an all-star game of a different kind. San Francisco's Candlestick Park was full of humor last night. Giants manager Frank Robinson joined the Miller Lite All-Stars in a softball game. The fans' favorite turned out to be the Miller Lite Dolly, Lee Meredith.
Maybe the pitcher will be real nice, because when I did the commercial, I had about 30 tries before I got to hit it. They gave me a whole day just to get that right. So if we want to spend the whole hour, otherwise I think they ought to stick me at the end and just hope I can wiggle my way out.
And they also laughed at umpire Jim Hunachek, who had serious trouble with Boog Powell's strike zone.
There's been some question about Jim's eyesight over the years, and we've talked about it, and I've bragged on him on TV and stuff like that, but that call he made on me today was just ridiculous, you know, and I had his glasses on, and I thought that maybe he needed those a little worse than I did.
All right, and they kept on laughing at just about everything last night. It was Candlestick Park at her best, or maybe at her worst. At any rate, the Miller Lite contingent ready for the All-Star game coming up tonight. And as we said earlier, we'll have the complete story coming up tonight at 10.
All right, Scott, we'll see you then. Okay. Thanks. Well, staying out of the heat has become a top priority for North Texans. And according to Harold, it'll probably remain a priority for the next few days. Harold's forecast is next.
Freedom's the one that took the stick out of gum. And puts the fresh in your breath. Yeah, Freedom's the one that took the stick out of gum. And puts the fresh in your breath. Yeah, Freedom's the one.
Freedent gum not only won't stick to your dental work, it helps clean in between to freshen your breath while you chew.
Freedom's the one that took the stick out of gum. And puts the fresh in your breath. Freedom's the one.
Freshen your breath with non-stick Freedent.
This heart operation will cost over $7,000 for surgery, over $8,000 for hospital bills, over $1,200 for anesthesiology, but only $4.60 for the electricity that makes it all possible. What else gives you so much for so little? But like anything you buy, electricity's value depends on how and where you choose to use it. Electricity, it's the power of choice.
The relentless roach. It survived the Ice Age. It survived the Volcanic Age. It even outlived the dinosaur. But now there's something it won't survive. Spectracide Professional Home Pest Control XP. University tests prove Spectracide XP wiped out roaches and kept on killing for weeks. So don't be so cocky, roach. You won't survive Spectracide XP. Buy the Spectrum line at home and garden stores.
Yeah, temperature kind of jumped around this afternoon. We saw it hit 100 just for a moment, just touched it. Then it went back down to 94. Clouds, a little bit of cloudiness overhead. And now it's kind of holding in there, let's see, 2, 4, 6, about 96 degrees. And the wind been a little gusty, too, at times out of the south up to 20, 25 miles an hour. Right now showing south-southwest at about 15. But as evening comes on, it'll go more into the south-southeast. On the board, started out this morning above normal, 78 degrees. And then this afternoon, we wound up above normal, 98, although some thermometers did hit up into the 100-degree mark. But for the most part, just been scattered afternoon clouds, and these are clouds of fair weather, the little puffy white clouds that you saw in the sky this afternoon. 56 is the lowest temperature we've ever recorded on this date, 107 the hottest, and in 1907 we had 2.14 inches of rain. Well, we turned to our almanac, and on this date, the 10th day of July, we noticed a couple things in there that we thought might be of interest to you. It is the day on which the hottest temperature ever recorded in the U.S. occurred, and the heaviest rain, too. Well, where was it? 1913, Greenland Ranch, California. Now, that's out in Death Valley, and the temperature 134 degrees. It may have been hotter someplace else, but that's the hottest that has been recorded. And what about the wettest? That was more recently in 1955 at Jefferson, Iowa. 69/100ths of an inch in a 1-minute period. Well, that'd be a little over 41 inches an hour. That would be a pretty heavy rain. You could use some of that in West Texas right now. Let's take a look at the map if we can. At 6 o'clock this evening, some thunderstorms down here in South Texas. We can see this one on our radar near just to the east of College Station. Some along this front up in Oklahoma and back into New Mexico. They are moving. Generally, these are toward the east-northeast. These are moving east, and these are just not moving at all. I think this front may work its way on down probably to the Red River in the next 24 to 48 hours, but I don't think it's going to go much further than that. 101 at Wichita Falls, 98 degrees in our area, 96 Dallas Love Field, 98 at Meacham Fort Worth, 99 down at Waco. These were some of the high temperatures of the day. Now, on the national map, not much change really. At front, coming on down across the Panhandle and into New Mexico, a little cooler weather coming into the North Country, and broken areas of showers over here in the east, through Ohio and down into Virginia, into Florida, down in southeast Texas and in Louisiana, and of course down into Mexico. The wind flow in the upper levels, well, it changes, but it doesn't change. Still have high pressure. Remember, it was from the northwest to the southeast, and it kind of broke up. Now it runs more or less east-west, and you may recall, when was it, a week, 10 days ago, we broke the high into two parts, one over in the east and one in the west. When it did, we had just a slight break in the weather. Temperatures dropped off the 100-degree mark. We even had a few showers around. It's trying to do that now. Not sure it'll be extremely successful, but at least we are getting some southeasterly wind. The slightest increase in humidity can keep the temperature down below the 100-degree mark. And that's pretty much been the case now for the last 2 days. Tomorrow, I think we'll see a few more clouds build up in our area. And then on Thursday, there might be 3 or 4 showers develop across North Texas. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see. I don't see any organized rainfall, certainly not yet. Let's look at the satellite picture while we've got it here. And you can see there's nothing here in North Texas. Here's those few showers down in the south and southeast. And you can see, remember, we had quite a bit of green area on our chart, but really there aren't many showers down there. They're just scattered in that area. A little more numerous out here in New Mexico, and these are beginning to develop now up along this old frontal system. Here's a big one up in Iowa. The National Weather Service has put one of those boxes up in that area, but of course it doesn't include us down here in Texas. So, tomorrow, I think our temperature will be just under 100 degrees. There'll be a pretty good line of showers from West Texas on up into Oklahoma and all the way on up into the northeast, along the Gulf Coast. Oh, maybe 3 or 4 somewhere east of Dallas and south of Hillsboro, but it's still going to be hot, even though it may not quite be 100 on the official thermometer. Looking outside, the sky right now almost clear, the visibility good. The wind is out of the south-southwest. It's holding there at about 15 miles an hour. The barometer 29.91, the temperature 96 now on our thermometer, and the humidity we computed at 35%. The only shower activity is down here east of College Station, north of Houston, and southeast of Tyler. Nothing up here in North Texas. So, forecast, we're going to call for the upper 70s to the upper 90s. The winds will be southerly at times up to 20 miles an hour, and these clouds will build up a little bit. Scattered afternoon clouds is all I can foresee. And Thursday afternoon, somebody might get a shower somewhere between, between Abilene and Texarkana.
Who's the lucky person going to be?
I don't know.
Okay, Harold, thanks a lot. Well, medical services are something we're all concerned with, but our area is growing so fast it's difficult to keep up with the constant demand for medical help. In tonight's Perspective Report, Jane Boone tells us not only are new satellite centers opening up in suburban areas, but now there's help for crippled children in a new northern location.
Good. Very nice.
Balancing on one foot is easy for most of us, but for 12-year-old Kristen Welton, it takes work. Kristen has cerebral palsy, but physical therapy is helping her balance, and it improves her walking.
He is drinking the apple juice.
Excellent. Good job.
Gail Galke is getting help through speech therapy. These children live in the North Dallas area, and they used to drive 30 minutes into town for therapy at the Dallas Society for Crippled Children. Now the society has come to them with a new satellite office in the Dedman Medical Center of Farmers Branch.
This area is growing very, very rapidly, and so to make it easier for parents to receive therapy that they might need, we felt like that if we could get into one of the large growth areas, that this would be very helpful.
Now 14-year-old Donna Schmidt can learn to type closer to home. This is a new trend among established medical centers. Reaching out to the suburbs is a way of offering services and staying competitive. The Society for Crippled Children has been serving Dallas since 1939. Now officials say they're serving the new Dallas by making their programs available to the children of our growing northern suburbs. Jane Boone, Channel 5 News, Dallas.
Filing suit in Dallas federal court today, New York-based St. Regis Corporation says it's fighting a secret multi-million-dollar takeover attempt. Australian publishing tycoon Rupert Murdoch is the man they're trying to stop. The suit argues Mr. Murdoch has violated federal securities laws in his attempt to take over the forest products company. Just ahead on Channel 5 News at 6, we'll tell you about a different sort of exercise instructor. This one hits the showers before her workout.
Now you can fly Delta to both sides of Los Angeles with nonstops to both Ontario and LA international airports. Choose from 3 daily nonstops to Ontario, including the only 767 Superjet, or from 6 nonstops to Los Angeles and the only wide-ride TriStars. Convenient schedules, personal service, low fares. That's the Delta spirit.
Delta is ready when you are.
The tough get tougher. Introducing new hefty trash and tall kitchen bags. A dozen paint cans, not one rip. The tough get tougher. Now 3 tough plastics make new Hefty's formula even tougher. 100 sharp corners, not one leak.
The tough get tougher.
30 pounds of plaster, not one break. The tough get tougher. 3 tough plastics, 1 tougher bag. New Hefty. The tough get tougher.
Finally this evening, a female physical fitness authority says we may be missing out on one of the most obvious ways to stay in shape. Our Jack Helsel says the exercise efforts also have fringe benefits, like a cleaner bathroom.
The battle of the bulge can cost big bucks if you use weight machines, cycle machines, or racquetball courts to shape up. But a 55-year-old grandmother named Ann Dugan says there's a cheaper and cleaner way to exercise by turning your bathroom into a spa.
Why not use something that you really hate to do, like cleaning your bathroom, as a way of toughening up your own body?
Why not, indeed? Physical fitness expert Dugan's designed 8 exercises ideal for using elbow grease to burn off flab. The makers of a bathroom cleanser have her on tour to demonstrate the off-the-shower wall concept.
If you get out of the bathtub or the shower and here you're warm, the muscles are warmed up, the ligaments are loose, take the sponge and really start moving those muscles.
And in the privacy of your bath, leotards and leg warmers obviously are optional. The big thing is broad, exaggerated movements that involve the entire bod. But after all this exertion, won't you need another shower?
Why not, and then do it again?
Such an endless cycle can only prepare us all for the Super Bowl, or at least a tidy one. Jack Helsel, Channel 5 News.
That's it for us for now. We'll see you at 10.
This has been Channel 5 News at 6, the best newscast in Texas. Join us tonight at 10 when the news continues on Channel 5.
Hi, Mom. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
John asked me to marry him. You're kidding. Isn't it neat?
Elizabeth and John are getting married.
My daughter is getting married! It's gonna be really weird, you being married. Look, there's so much we've got to do.
Lawson's Bakery?
Yes. Of course. Who else is gonna be your maid of honor?
Remind Frank he has to pick up his tuxedo at 6 o'clock sharp.
This family event was brought together by a new family, Southwestern Bell Corporation.
Southwestern Bell, we're bringing you together.
together with local telephone service, the Yellow Pages, cellular mobile systems, and the latest equipment for your home and business. We're the new Southwestern Bell Corporation.
Move closer to Mom now and put your arm around her.
We're bringing you together.
Parents are funny. They really love the taste of sugar-free Weilers, but they never tell you. So when you make yourself some Weilers, it's good to be real careful and alert. Dad, is that you? What you doing, Mom? Okay, what happened to all the Weilers?
Your brother drank it.
I don't have a brother.
Sugar-free Weilers with NutraSweet, the taste everybody loves.
KXAS TV, Channel 5.
Look at this studio, filled with glamorous prizes, fabulous and exciting merchandise, including this $9,400 Harley-Davidson, an awesome two-wheeler. And uniquely crafted $2,950 Indian head necklace. And this incredibly stunning $8,500 pearl and diamond choker. Over $78,000 just waiting to be won on Wheel of Fortune. And now, here's your host, Pat Sajak.
Thank you. Thus necessitating another special session. When the conservative Republican emerged from behind closed doors, he was besieged by reporters who wanted to know what Leadham got in return.
They will meet, as I understand, the Finance Committee to reduce their appropriation $32 million approximately from the TDC, which represents utility monies primarily and some others that have not been spent, don't need to be spent at the present time, and reduce the tax bill by $32 million by taking out possibly repair on automobiles and those things.
After the final Senate vote, Governor Mark White was very pleased.
How do you think you feel right now?
About as good as I ever have. So, depending on Mr. Sleater, who's coming this way, if he starts smiling, I'd feel a lot better.
Representative Stan Sleater of Killeen was not only smiling, he was carrying the actual bill. As chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Sleater's approval is critical to ensure final passage. The two most common expressions heard around the Capitol these days are, there's no such thing as a good tax bill and it's not over till it's over. Well, this may or may not be a good tax bill, and it's not over, but it's over. Bob Letter, Channel 5 News, Austin.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. Well, if ultimately that tax package is approved, our sales taxes will go up 1/8 of 1 cent. Linda Frederick reports on what this 1/8 cent solution will mean.
The sales tax increase will barely be noticed by most consumers. It takes a while for 1/8 of a penny to count anywhere. But generally speaking, we will pay a penny more in sales tax for every $8 we spend. On a $100 purchase in Fort Worth, instead of paying $5.25 in sales tax, we will pay $5.38. The sales tax rate in Dallas is higher, so a $100 purchase there will cost consumers $6.13 in sales tax compared to the current $6. The sales tax increase is expected to generate $89 million the first year, but it's also going to cost individual merchants hundreds of dollars to reprogram their cash registers. Fort Worth merchants just completed a reprogramming of their cash registers in April when local sales taxes increased 1/4 of a penny to fund mass transit. Because of that, Fort Worth residents are more accustomed to dealing in sales tax fractions. But it looks like the rest of Texas will soon be joining the ranks of a complicated sales tax system. Linda Frederick, Channel 5 News.
Well, many Texans are concerned about the outcome of the special session. The people who live in Newcastle and many other areas of North Texas are facing a more immediate concern: water, or rather, the lack of it. We have two stories tonight. First, from Channel 5's Mike Snyder, who in tonight's Perspective Report tells us how the town of Newcastle is racing against the clock to keep water in its pipes.
Pickle. What are you needing?
Be a lot better to go on flat ground than try to pull those up.
We're going to make it the best we can.
It's going to be impossible.
And that's exactly what this determined group of men have been doing since last Friday afternoon, trying to get an emergency water pipeline hooked up before their town of Newcastle runs dry.
The new lake's got a little bit of water in it. That's what we're surviving on right now.
But not for long. The town estimates this lake-turned mud puddle will be dry by tomorrow night, and
That's the reason for the rush on the pipeline. They started here 7 miles southeast of Newcastle. A lone pump will soon send water, bought from the city of Graham, down this rusty pipeline to Newcastle's treatment plant.
Is there a clamp down there? Yeah.
The around-the-clock work is hard and hairy, but no one here complains.
I think it draws the neighbors together and just brings them closer.
And the town's women are doing their part as well, taking over the Baptist church kitchen to make sure men on the pipeline have plenty of food to keep them going. But this pipeline is only a temporary solution for Newcastle's water shortage. The folks who live here know that they've got to come up with a permanent solution and future water source for this town, or Newcastle is quite literally in danger of drying up and blowing away like so many small Texas towns. Mike Snyder, Channel 5 News, south of Newcastle.
I'm Alan Laughlin on Benbrook Lake. Lake levels are down dramatically all over North Texas, and that could mean big problems for boaters, especially tomorrow, which is likely to be one of the biggest boating days of the summer season. Benbrook is down 5 feet, Grapevine down 8 feet, Lake Arlington is 4 feet below normal, and the people whose job it is to patrol the lakes to keep them safe for boating say the levels are dangerously low.
I have less than 50% of all the boat ramps on this lake are not even usable at this time.
Under normal lake conditions, these stumps would be a couple of feet beneath the surface of the lake, but these are anything but normal conditions, and when the lake levels get this low, there's bound to be plenty of surprises just beneath the surface.
Due to the fact that so many people being out here, and a lot of people don't know the lake or know the level of the lake, how low it is, and before they know what's really going on, they're into the middle of a bunch of stumps or on a sandbar.
Marina manager Lee Hewitt says that low lake levels and unwary boaters can be a deadly combination. It happened here just last year.
A man cut across the stump area too quick and hit a stump. The motor flew up, hit his son in the back of the head and killed him.
Park Ranger Lynn Murphy warns lakegoers that many lake areas that were safe for skiing and boating just a few weeks ago may now be very dangerous.
Exposed gravel bars extremely close to the surface. There are stumps. There's even a possibility of fishing lines that may be trot lines that may have been left in the past. So they might be exposed at this time.
And lake officials say the potential for boating accidents is higher now than it's been in a long time. I'm Alan Laughlin, Channel 5 News on Benbrook Lake.
Still ahead tonight on Channel 5 News, Fair Park will soon look like this. We'll tell you about preparations for the first Dallas Grand Prix. And promoters of the Michael Jackson Can't Beat It in Dallas. The concerts are sold out. Details ahead.
I'm the Coachman Dalmatian. My name is Pete, and millions of miles have passed beneath my feet. I've led a mighty army to the great outdoors. I'll show you the fun of a caravan and tailgate parties for you sports fans. From travel trailers to motor homes, you'll live in style wherever you roam. I'll get folks together like you've never been together before.
It takes a coachman to make the trip, so follow Pete, leader to the great outdoors.
Communication. Communication is what separates the serious investor from an investor. Communication with a financial consultant about what makes you feel comfortable and uncomfortable. It is this communication that will ultimately determine how satisfied you'll be, which is why we recommend so adamantly you invest your time with us before you invest your money with us. Shearson Lehman, American Express, and the serious investor. Minds over money.
20 million people have better things to do than wait at home for their government checks. They have direct deposit, the smart, safe, and easy way of automatically depositing their Social Security or other government checks. For that kind of peace of mind, just ask for it wherever you have a checking or savings account.
Got it?
Direct deposit. For 20 million people, it's money in the bank.
Lawyers for Elsie Faye Higgins and John Wiley Price are preparing for court on Monday. County Judge Tom Crofts has been appointed to hear the voter fraud charges brought by Ms. Higgins after she lost the District 3 County Commissioner's runoff race. Attorneys for Ms. Higgins say she plans to have witnesses testify that many questionable activities took place on June 2nd. They want the judge to order a new election. A top-ranking Republican official wants Jesse Jackson out of the political picture, and he wants Walter Mondale to throw him out. The chairman of the Republican National Committee met with reporters in Dallas today. Frank Fahrenkopf says he questions Jackson's foreign policy moves and Jackson's relationship with Louis Farrakhan, the Muslim leader who has made anti-Jewish remarks.
Does Walter Mondale join the ranks of those who would praise the governments of Cuba and Nicaragua while denouncing that of El Salvador? Finally, does Walter Mondale believe that Jesse Jackson or any other Democrat has gone far enough in making clear that the views of Louis Farrakhan have no place in the Democratic Party or in America?
Jackson, who met with Mondale in Kansas City today, did, though, denounce Farrakhan for his racist remarks, one of which was calling Judaism a gutter religion. At Fair Park in Dallas this evening, the attention is on a different kind of race. Thousands are expected for the Dallas Grand Prix. And Channel 5 reporter Pat Warren tells us organizers are hard at work with preparations.
It's time to put the finishing touches on the track. Advertisements are plastered on the retaining walls. Workmen are spending their days in the hot sun erecting fences and setting up the grandstands. Race crews have turned the Coliseum into a garage. They won't stop working until the race is over. And right now, the Formula One racers look like oversized parts of a toy model kit. Where you'll park your own car if you attend the three-day event is another story. Much of the Fair Park parking spaces have been eaten up by the track. And on the subject of eating, the food industry here anticipates that massive quantities will be consumed.
You've got to plan ahead because of the fact that we're going to be blocked in most of the time, and so you're really looking at the whole weekend. It's a big guessing game.
Are you excited?
Oh, tremendously, tremendously.
And here is the true evidence that Fair Park is expecting a crowd. Big Tex is up, and when Big Tex gets his head in the air, you know something exciting is about to happen. Pat Warren, Channel 5 News, Dallas.
Well, Alan Mallory says the Rangers tonight are going to try to wrest another one away from the Yankees at Arlington Stadium. And those who should advance did today at Wimbledon. Alan has sports news when we come back. Stay tuned.
Your Dallas-Fort Worth Lincoln Mercury dealers want you to know that whatever you're doing,
honey, you better get over here.
You better get over here to our July success sale. We made a special year-end factory purchase of $39 million worth of cars. Get specially priced Mercury Cougar or Grand Marquis. Get great deals on the last of the 84s now. Take a test drive and get a valuable cooler free at North Hills, Eagle, Bailey, McDavid, Bankston, Regency.
Hi, I'm Carl Newton III, president of Fox Photo, with my friend Michael Landon in a Fox Photo 1 hour lab.
You know, it's amazing, Carl. Quality pictures in just 1 hour.
You bet. And they're always printed on Kodak paper.
With an exclusive quality-controlled computer system, Fox technicians always deliver clear, sharp, colorful pictures.
And Fox gives you a money-back satisfaction guarantee.
Yeah, but how do you do it in just 1 hour?
Very quickly, Michael.
Half off coupon in Thursday's News, Herald, and Star Telegram.
The hardest-hitting television sports team in North Texas is right here on Channel 5. Still to come, tonight's complete sports wrap-up with Alan Mallory.
Incredible.
Crazy.
Man. Oppenheimer's incredible holiday madness sale.
Get $20, $30, $50 off their everyday low discount prices.
Prices on every sport coat, every suit slashed by 20, 30, up to $50 off everyday low prices.
All famous labels are on sale.
Internationally famous labels. Such as YSL, Eagle, Christian Dior, Giorgio San Angelo.
$20, $30, $50 off those labels when prices are already cut about half?
Right.
That's crazy.
It's madness. Holiday madness now through July 4th.
Incredible. Crazy.
Man.
Alan Mallory is in now to tell us what's happening in the world of sports. The Rangers managed to pull one out last night. Let's hope they don't have to dig that deep to do the same thing tonight.
Oh, it was a heart stopper. They went down 5 runs. They came back, and the bats started moving. And Dickie Knowles, who was just acquired from the Chicago Cubs, making Doug Rader look somewhat like a prophet.
What a start for that young man.
Oh, terrific start. And it's something that the Rangers needed desperately, too.
Good catalyst.
They were 7-6 at home last month, in the month of June. This month, they start out with a win against the Yankees, 2 more against the New Yorkers, and then they have 4 against Detroit prior to the All-Star.
Let's hope they can keep it up.
Yes. It will be Frank Tanana and former Philly Marty Bystrom in Game 2 tonight against the Yankees. The bullpen may be struggling of late, but when Charlie Huff has been on the mound, there hasn't been much need to bother the bullpen. Mike Fernandez is standing by live from the stadium now with more on the guy they call Mr. Flutterball. Michael?
Alan, awards are always nice. I don't know that firsthand, of course, but Charlie tells me they are, and he was named today the American League Pitcher of the Month for the month of June, and he was well-deserved because he was 4-0 with a 1.31 ERA. Now, at one point earlier in the season, Charlie was 2-6. He is now 8-6, so you don't have to be a mathematician to know he has won 6 straight games. And I asked him, how do you figure the turnaround?
Well, I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe then I feel good in this warm weather and just got to throwing it right. And for throwing a knuckleball, you've got to be able to get it over the plate. And the last month and a half or so, I've been getting it over the plate.
Would you say that you are a streak pitcher?
I think so. I think everybody has a little bit of streaks in them, but I think a pitcher like myself has always been a streaky guy.
With the knuckleball, conceivably, you can go on almost forever. Look at Phil Niekro.
Well,
you
yeah.
look like a baby compared to him.
Well, I am. I think Phil's got about 9 or 10 years on me, and he's not just pitching. He's pitching probably the best pitcher in the league right now.
Phil Niekro is 45 years old. He's the oldest player in baseball. And speaking about Phil, he'll pitch tomorrow night, and we'll talk to him at 6 o'clock. Tonight, Frank Tanana for the Rangers. He's looking for his 9th win. Marty Bystrom goes for the Yankees. This will be his first start for New York. Alan?
All right, thank you, Michael. Rangers picking up a lot of awards lately. The ladies of Wimbledon being spotlighted today, but there was a men's doubles match, and you can't put together a much better team than John McEnroe and Peter Fleming. This afternoon, they took on John Alexander and John Fitzgerald. It was the Americans against the Aussies, and at one point, it was all 4 against the electronic device that calls net serves. The gadget didn't seem to work, so the umpire decided to go back to the eyes and the ears of the judge. And back to the action they went. It was spectacular tennis all the way. Defending champions Fleming and McEnroe holding on to win in 5 sets. The women were the main focus at center court, though, and it was 2 Americans going at it for the chance to face Martina Navratilova in the semifinals. Pam Shriver was the 4 seed and a slight favorite going in, but it was the number 6 seed, Kathy Jordan, who bounced back from the first set loss to win it in 3, 2-6, 6-3, and 6-4. Jordan with the dubious honor now of taking on Martina next. She is, by the way, 0-11 against Navratilova, who also advanced today and made it look easy against 7th seed Manuela Maliva, taking Maliva in straight sets of 6-3 and 6-2. Chris Everett-Lloyd had just as easy a day against 12th seed Claudia Cota, winning that match 6-2, 6-4. 3rd seed Hanna Manlikova, she took only 69 minutes to dispose of Joe Dury, 6-1, 6-4, and now heads into the semifinals against either Everett-Lloyd or the Swedish giant killer known as Karina Carlson, and she has been knocking off a lot of big C's.
So some good matches yet to come.
Oh, some excellent tennis.
All right, thanks, Alan.
You're welcome.
Sunny and hot. What are the chances the next few days will bring us relief from those 2 words? Harold has his eye on our weather, and his forecast is coming up next. We hope you'll stay with us.
World-Class Women is brought to you by Revco Discount Drug.
At the 1936 Olympics, the U.S. women's diving team won 5 of 6 diving medals. One of the talented young women leading the team to its success was Marjorie Gestring, who took the gold medal in the springboard diving. Gestring, at the age of 13 years, 9 months, was the youngest woman ever to capture an Olympic gold medal. For World-Class Women, I'm Randy Hall.
Remember, Revco's the store for top-quality photo finishing at low everyday discount prices.
Hey, Babs, I was working on my social calendar, thought I'd pencil you in.
Sorry, Biff, I've already got tickets for Starfest at Park Central.
Isn't that the outdoor concert series? Romantic, Under the Stars?
Yes, but it's fun for the whole family, too. In fact, my folks and I are going to the next one together.
Hey, Babs, can I get a couple of numbers from you?
Sure, for Starfest tickets?
Yeah, and do you have Barbara's number? I still have a couple of openings left.
Don't miss Sammy Davis Jr. July 2nd and a July 4th celebration with the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. A very special feeling occurs when we volunteer our time and our hearts helping others. It's truly a rewarding experience. Our community is unique in its voluntary spirit with a long history of relying on the dedication and commitment of our people. If you'd like to volunteer some of your time helping others, call the Channel 5 Volunteer Connection in the Dallas area at 744-1194 or in Tarrant County at 336-1168.
Can you spare the time?
Up till about 20 minutes ago, we had some showers and thunderstorms up here along the Red River, but they've all gone. Now there's nothing anywhere. Well, down toward College Station and down in toward Houston, a few showers and some buildups there. Let's take a look at the board. This, well, 98 has been the high, and 77 has been the low, and 74 to 97 is normal. A year ago it was 98. Now on our graph we can see that a little bit plainer perhaps. 77 to 98, and of course just a few scattered clouds. It was warm. No, we'll call it hot because it was 99 degrees at Meacham, Fort Worth, and that's close enough. We'll fudge just a little bit. On this date, it's been as cool as 63, as warm as 109, and not much rain. Historically, in 1905, we had 86 hundredths of an inch, and that's the most that has occurred here. On the almanac, though, we kind of take a look at some of the 4th of July weather here in North Texas. The average temperatures range between 74 and 97. And the coldest we've had was in 1924 when the temperatures around the area ranged between 60 and 71. The hottest, of course, was in that very hot summer of 1980 when it was 104 degrees. Rain, well, sometimes you get some pretty heavy rain. In 1974, a 2-inch rain hit Bridgeport. The next year, a 4-inch rain hit Cleburne. We had some pretty heavy rain, some sections of the Metroplex in 1976. And in 1981, 6-inch rains at Garland and 4-inch rains in some portions of Dallas. Well, here's the Texas map, and looking at it, shower activity scattered down in South Texas, in New Mexico, and up in Colorado, but nothing here in the Metroplex. We've been just sitting here with scattered clouds throughout the day, really not even much buildup. The wind flow primarily out of the south to south-southwest, and the area is quite dry. Our humidity this afternoon down to 27%, but then you get over here into East Texas. In this region, there is enough moisture, and that's where, of course, most of the clouds are occurring. Temperature-wise, 98 still at Meacham, Fort Worth, where it was 99 an hour ago, 97 Dallas Love, and down at Waco. And it's 91 degrees at Lubbock, 91 degrees at San Antonio, 87 degrees at Houston. Our computer is doing a little bit garbling, so we didn't get all of the reports, but they're pretty uniform from north to south. Now, on the national map, shower activity, a lot of it over in Florida, down along the coastal regions, but that's where you'd expect. That's where all the moisture is coming up from the south. There is no tropical weather down, or tropical disturbances down in the Gulf or the southern Atlantic. All we've got just a lot of high pressure. This front will move slowly, probably down to about Childers, maybe close to Wichita Falls by tomorrow night or Thursday, and that'll be about as far south as it'll come. Cooler air, of course, up here in the north, but you can see these little green areas are scattered about. And, of course, this little green area up near Wichita Falls has now disappeared off the scope. The wind flow in the upper levels, it's basically just high pressure from Seattle all the way on down into New Orleans. And as a result of that, the skies are generally clear to partly cloudy, and not much activity, not much frontal activity can exist as long as this condition is on our charts. This little dashed line right through here is the separation of the two highs. Sometimes we get a few showers in that region. On the satellite picture, you can see the clouds up here in Oklahoma. Looks like one may be trying to form up there around Oklahoma City. And here are those down in the Gulf region. See, they're really very scattered and a little more concentrated out here in the Big Bend. Tomorrow, I think it'll be near 100 degrees, near 100 degrees. And the showers, 95% of them will be within this hatched area. That doesn't include the Metroplex. Should be fairly heavy rains up in the Ohio Valley and through the Great Lakes. Looking outside, the sky right now is almost clear, a little hazy. That wind south-southwest now hitting 20, look at that, 22 miles an hour. The barometer, 29.91. The relative humidity is 28%. Our temperature is 96 degrees now. We've had no precipitation. There is nothing on the radar. So on the forecast, we're going to call for 78 in the morning to near 100 in the afternoon. And I think that'll qualify as hot, just a few scattered clouds. But this word of caution. If you're going up on Lake Texoma, a lot of folks are, good chance for thunderstorms there. So watch the sky carefully.
Okay.
I don't think we'll have any problem here in North Texas. You might if you're going down toward Toledo Bend or down in the Gulf area.
Okie doke. Thank you, Harold.
Surely.
Still ahead on Channel 5 News. A little funny business goes a long way, and tonight, the jokes on Jack Helsel.
These country Victorian pieces from Brookwood can bring a live, bright, fresh, appealing look to your living room. And Haverty's is featuring them at a most appealing price. They're upholstered in a soft, creamy knit with a delicate, cozy red and blue miniature tulip print. Haverty's has the sofa sale price $5.99. The love seat or chair and ottoman are only $5.49 at Haverty's.
Haverty's has it. We've got it all.
I'm Bill McDavid, and we're having a take-your-pick sale. This 84 Pontiac Grand Prix or this 84 Mercury Cougar, only $99.95. With $1,000 down, cash or trade, only $249 per month. That includes air, stereo, and a lot more. Save now during our take-your-pick sale. Bill McDavid Pontiac Honda, West 7th in Fort Worth. Bill McDavid Lincoln Mercury, North Collins and Arlington. It's a Texas tradition. Right, wide track?
Ticket sales for the upcoming Jackson's concerts were slow at first, but they apparently picked up speed. And tonight, promoters say all 3 concerts at Texas Stadium are sold out. The Jacksons over the 13th, 14th, and 15th of this month will play to more than 117,000, no doubt, screaming fans. Earlier today, there were reports that only 1 in 9 would-be concertgoers would receive their tickets. However, tonight, Texas Stadium officials say as far as they know, everybody who sent in an order will get tickets. Finally tonight, he sells kites and magic tricks, but his main claim to fame may be as Fort Worth's premier practical joker. Our Jack Helsel found out the hard way by visiting the joke shop.
All of Lou Hill's customers can expect a warm welcome.
Hi, Will. How's it going?
Oh, that's great. Hill's a former trucker whose stock in trade the past 10 years has been practical jokes, like the battery-operated hand.
What do you normally do with it? I sell it.
Along with garlic chewing gum and trick light bulbs that don't work in everyone's hands.
Let me see your hand. It's threaded backwards.
Lou admits a lot of gags and gimmicks aren't that great. Take the exploding lighters, for instance. Please. We wondered what kind of special training the mirth merchant had.
I was a brat in school. This was the best training ground.
But being the butt of practical jokes isn't always funny. Anybody ever get angry?
I can't imagine anybody getting mad over having ink squirted on them. Can you?
The disappearing ink did, a few minutes later. But if Hill can make a living off this kind of funny business, it says something about Fort Worth's sense of humor.
Oh, this is the greatest town in the world.
We figured this story needed a real funny finish, you know, always leave them laughing. But actually, I'm having trouble writing one. Jack Helsel, Channel 5 News.
Jack's going to be a pretty good guy to avoid over the next few days, I think. That's it for this edition of Channel 5 News. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll have the very latest on all the tax hike goings-on in Austin. And Garland city officials are expected to make a commitment towards more minority hiring. We'll let you know if they make good on the promise. Those stories and more coming up tonight at 10. Until then, we hope you have a good evening.
This has been Channel 5 News at 6, the best newscast in Texas. Join us tonight at 10 when the news continues on Channel 5.